Hi, this is Ron Jones. I'm a credential physical education teacher and historical kinesiologist, which means I study the history of PE and the history of movement and fitness over the generations going back to ancient Greece. So as you can see, a lot of the tools I use look a little bit different and they have a historical context. They're made currently, however, they have a rich history. In Indian clubs, the small clubs going up to the larger Persian meal clubs are part of that history, as well as mace training tools such as this. But I'm here to talk about the Adex adjustable club today that's manufactured in Florida. And I'm really happy to talk about this product because it's just got a lot of benefits and I've really enjoyed using it the last few weeks. So this club as is about 25 pounds and it's adjustable. So a lot of the regular steel clubs out there, you have to buy a 5-pound club or a 8-pound club or 10 or 15, and then you have to pay separate shipping and all that. So one nice thing about the Adex club is that if you only had money for one club and you needed a lot of different weight variations, which is ideal, not just one weight, this is actually a pretty practical way to go. They cost over $200, and then you have shipping on top of that, but you get many different variations of club weight with this unit. And I'll say this too, I don't do a lot of product reviews, and this is my disclaimer for this. I only recommend products that I have tried, used, and I believe they have a lot of benefit. Some of the products I review have a wide mass general population benefit, and some of them are a little more specific. In my professional opinion, I think steel clubs are more advanced tools because of the leverage involved in the weights and things like that. That being said, you can take a steel club like this and do some very fundamental, very basic, simple beginner, if you will, exercises. So there's always ways to regress even a more advanced type tool, in my opinion. But let's break this down. I mean, the very first thing I thought about when I got it out of the box was that it's just built, it reminds me of my construction days. I spent 15 years of construction before I went back to college and got into PE and fitness. And it reminds me of a 36-inch rigid pipe wrench. And rigid brand pipe wrenches are the industry standard for the oil field business and, you know, pipeline construction, things like that, plumbing. And it has that feel to it, like it's just built to last. It has a construction feel to it, and I'll say a manly feel to it. Not that it can't be used by a lot of the strong ladies, but just coming out of the construction background, that was my first impression. Like, this thing is, it's like a pipe wrench, right? It's really strong. It's got a very nice paint job, kind of a speckle paint job that doesn't seem cheap, like it flakes off. Many fitness tools that are painted, the paint is crap and it just like blows right off. But this thing is, it looks like it's a higher quality paint job. And let's break it down on the threading part. So it's got a very long thread center shaft, and what I liked about this is a very old type thread design, I believe. I mean, if you look at equipment manuals, you know, out of the late 1800s, early 1900s, the tool factory type, you know, equipment manufacturers, they had thread designs like this. So this is a very coarse thread, unlike a lot of products that screw together with a very fine thread. I'll give you a practical example of what happened. I was out in the desert shooting some demo videos with this, and I laid this down and got some like sand grit in it, and I just kind of brushed it off and screwed it right in there, and it went in fine. There was no cross threading. It's impossible to cross thread this thing. It's going to go in and it's going to come out, and it goes in and out very easy. In fact, this thing will even free spin. It's got a very light coating of grease on it, but once you get it going, you can just free spin that thing down. And another thing I really like about the thread design in particular is I don't need a pipe wrench or this like over aggressive grip to lock that thing down and keep it from coming apart when I'm using it. It's just a little spin and just a little bit of, you know, pop, and that thing's not going anywhere. I've used it quite a bit the last few weeks and I never had this thing back out, so I really like that. Took just a little bit. I mean, I've opened cans in the kitchen that are a lot more forceful than, you know, trying to use this. So it's really easy to use. And when you pop this thing out, it has these plates, and some of the plates are thick like this, and then some of the plates are more thin. So you've got the heavy plate and you've got the light plate. So you can mix and match and cut this thing down and get it to where, you know, even if you're just using the handle with the shaft, you know, you can screw that all the way down and you're only into a few pounds of weight, which now you're getting into, it's not as light as this 1 pound club, but the idea is you're getting into a fairly light regression type of tool. So I really like it. Another thing I like about the plates and how they go together, it's got 2 great big thick pins and 2 big holes. And it's, you know, you can't screw this up, right? It's stupid simple. You just get that thing on there, it drops right down. The pins are just long enough to prevent it from twisting around, and they all line up that way. And I think the design of the club is simplistically brilliant. And I like things that aren't a hassle to use, especially in the field, because a lot of times I go out and I take my gear to the park, or I take it out to the middle of the desert for a video shoot or something like that. And this is a type of tool that can hold up to that. I packed it around the desert up in the mountains, and Donnie over at Adex, he was joking with me, you know, just beat the crap out of it, because he's confident that the club is built to last and it's going to hold up. So I'm actually very pleasantly surprised with the club. I've been using clubs, the lighter clubs, for about 10 years, and you know, also the meal Persian clubs that are, you know, generally the weights I use are about 6 to 8 pounds. And I have had steel clubs for a long time by other manufacturers, so I didn't really get into them as much until the last year or so, and especially the last couple months. So I'm now expanding out, I'm using a little more load, and I just really like the club. I like the versatility of it. I like the fact that it's adjustable. I like the quality of construction. I like that Donnie, like me, came from the construction industry before he got into fitness manufacturing, and he has that practicality to looking at a tool and making sure that it's built to last, and it has like that, just that construction grit quality to it. So I really appreciate that as well. And it's easy to travel. You know, if I take my other clubs out, I've got a lot of space in my car, and you got to worry about them banging around. I can put this whole thing together and put it in the back, and it's only going to take up the space of one of the other clubs, yet I have numerous club combinations in terms of weight here. So I like it quite a bit. It's adexclub.com. They're out of Florida, and I highly recommend it from a quality standpoint, from a practical standpoint, from a small business owner, entrepreneurial standpoint. It's nice to know that there's some people with startups out there like Donnie that are making a good go out of it, and they're proud of what they do. And I'm proud to have it and use it in my collection. And I don't recommend equipment that I don't believe in. So I don't think you'll be disappointed with an Adex club. They also have extension handles, and I don't have those, but they can go up and become a longer tool like the mace here. I'm not much into mace training. I do a little bit of that. I'm more of a club guy, among other things, and I'll probably eventually get into the longer handle as well. But for right now, the reviews on the Adex club, the basic setup with these different plates on it, excellent product. Good luck and have fun.